The journey to Edo 2024 gubernatorial election is staring at us. And of course, the intrigues leading towards the election and towards the polls come 21 September. It's just a few days away from now. What says you? You have a stake, I have a stake, we all have a role to play. And of course, it's the program Road to Edo 2024 where we have the opportunity to meet with stakeholders, party chieftains, and of course, candidates to let us know what they have in stock for Edo people. Today, we have a representative of the NNPP, the New Nigerian People's Party, a representative of the party. He is the Director of Contact and Mobilization. He's in person of Agatise Raphael. Good to have you in the studio, and welcome to Road to Edo 2024. All right, by the way, my name is Daniel Praise, also Debame. Let's get into the business of the day. Your party, the NNPP, it's seen as a party for the Northerners because to an extent, it has more base in the northern part of the country. What is going to be the fate of NNPP in this election?
All right, thank you very much, my brother. I appreciate. First and foremost, when you say the party is a northern party,
It's seen, it's presumed
to be a
northern-based political party.
Where for some school of thought, they may look correct, but the truth of the matter is they are not really correct. We look at the personality of the person that is flying the party card. I think that is what is most important. When last year, when Obi took the ticket of the Labour Party, it became a national party. So for those of us who are in NNPP in Edo State, we don't see it as a northern party. We look at the personality of who is flagging the party ticket. So it's not a northern party, sir.
Okay, let's move it a little bit further now. The person, Dr. Azemhe Azena, this is his first time venturing into politics. And if you're saying Edo people should look at the person and not the political party, he has not really gotten a firm grip of the political landscape in Edo State. Do you think so? Are you sharing that same light?
Well, I will want to disagree with you, sir. Now, the thing is, when we are talking about having a firm grip of the political structure of the state, the question I would like to ask is, what do you understand by the political structure of the state? You know, because one thing we have come to observe is that when politicians talk about structure, you don't have structure like what they sang around Obi that time. The structure they're talking about, they are not really talking about the structure as we, the Talakawas, understand structure to be. The structure they are talking about is structure of corruption. You understand? So
for an average politician.
For an average politician, that's just the truth.
The structure of corruption or the structure method is just structure. You call it corruption.
It's a structure of corruption because when we are talking about structure, sir, what makes up a structure? Structure is the number of persons you are able to influence and that you also intend to influence. The number of persons that you control is what makes up your structure.
Okay.
You understand? So you can actually be in quote now in a big party and you have no structure and you just believe because you are in a big party that because of that, you know, you have it all. But you don't have any structure on ground. So what constitutes your structure as a politician or as an individual is your leadership style that you have, how you are able to carry people along over time. And to us, with Dr. Azemhe, we believe that for this 2024, when you look at all the candidates in this 2024, Dr. Azemhe is the main person who has got all the structure that is required for winning this election.
Okay. I would like us to strike a balance in this discussion. Yes, he's a regional pastor in Omega Fire Ministry. He's one of the leading force as far as that ministry is concerned. I'm very sure he had like about 100 and something churches under his domain. Is he looking at all these branches as the structure? If you throw the branches, they are not even within Edo State. Because if you say he's a regional pastor, it covers probably a South region, maybe. And some of these persons in Delta and other states may not have the opportunity to come and cast their vote in Edo State. So is he capitalizing on the followership, the membership that are under his domain?
Let me shock you, sir.
Shock me.
All right. Do you know that I'm as head of mobilization for the campaign? Do you know that over 80% of the persons that that have been following us, that have been moving with, they are actually not OFM members.
Oh, really?
You understand? They are actually not OFM members. And our polling unit, about 4,519, which, of course, INEC has confirmed. I will tell you today that hardly you see OFM members.
So you have about 400.
Yes, we have the complete
419,000.
4,519 polling unit agent in the state.
Already registered.
Registered agent, polling unit
with
agent.
NNPP.
Exactly.
Okay.
You understand? So if you check the INEC server, I think we're about 3 that on that level, PDP, APC, and NNPP, that on that level. So you will not see something that has to do with Omega stuff there. You see, Azemhe is a name in this state. Azemhe is a force in this state. I've worked with some politicians before now, so many politicians before now. But when somebody like me and some other person started working with Dr. Azemhe, we discovered that there is this aura, there is this uniqueness that goes with Dr. Azemhe. One of the reasons why we find it very easy to sell Dr. Azemhe is because when we go out there, we discover that it's a marketable product. It's a good name to sell. Do you understand? You know, when you are selling some candidates, you require enough energy. You require enough money. You require enough resources, enough energy, more power to sell some candidates. You see, for Dr. Azemhe, you don't need all those.
So for NNPP now, you don't need money in this election?
Not that
you are not spending money.
Not that we don't need money. But what others are spending money for, we are not spending money for it. Do you understand, sir? Because we realize that if it's only when you're not a sellable candidate, that is when you have to spend money unnecessarily. And we also observe that the reason why some of these persons spend money unnecessarily is because, you see, if you don't have a good name, you believe that with your money, you can give yourself a good name. Otherwise, how do you explain a situation where people go as far as buying 1 rubber of rice for market women? Because you don't have good name. If you have good name, you don't need that, sir.
So palliative is not part of politics?
Palliative should not be...
supporting people, giving them things. This is what we are used to in Nigeria. This is what politicians give.
That is what brought us to where we are right now.
Okay.
You see, if you want to give people palliative, why don't you do it before election? One of the key problems that we keep having with the crop of politicians that we have for this 2024 is that what kept you people in this election? Where have you been before this election? Dr. Azemhe, for the past 12 years in Edo State, is verifiable. He has been into this game, not because of politics.
Which game now?
I mean, he has been into this game, the game of helping people naturally.
Okay.
Of course, we know how many houses he has built for people. He's there on how many houses, how many vehicles he has bought for people, hundreds of vehicles, not because he was running for any political position. It's his nature. So the problem some of us are having with some of these persons that are coming out is the fact that you are coming out because you are running for election. Where were you last year? Where were you 4-5 years ago? Do you understand? So you now start to do this fire brigade approach, trying to buy 2 rubber of rice for market women, buy salt and all those things, give palliative 5,000 naira at the end of the day because you want to buy their future. And this is what we normally tell Edo people generally, that see, do not be cajoled by these things. Because whatever you think they are giving you now, you are going to get it back. You know,
time is not always our friend on the program. Let's quickly walk through what you have for Edolite, your manifesto. But for someone like me, I'm among those who believes that you should be able to manifest what you have in your manifesto when you get to office. So walk us through what you have on ground.
Well, like you said, time will not really permit us to go around everything.
But let's manage our time.
All right. We have a slogan. We say A to Z. No one will be left behind. Now, that includes that from area of education, security, health, sport, entertainment, everything is going to be covered once Azemhe becomes the governor of the state. Now, you said something which I actually want to appreciate, that you must be able to manifest your
manifesto without manifestation.
Manifestation.
It brings frustration.
Frustration. You see, our problem we normally have with politicians these days is they take people because they have got resources, they pay people to write their manifesto for them. Some of them can't even read their manifesto. In this 2024, there are some candidates that can't even read their manifesto. So it's not a question of somebody writing manifesto or presenting manifesto. The first thing should be your ability to manifest your manifesto, using your language.
Yes.
And when you are looking at the manifesto of anybody, before somebody will tell you he's going to build skyscraper, you first of all look at what has the person done before. Antecedent is very important, sir. Antecedent is very, very important. So if somebody has not done something similar and is telling you that when he gets to power, he's going to use public resources to do it, then there's something that is fishy.
What is the tendency that if NNPP, the vehicle through which Dr. Azemhe Azena is driving on to get to Osadebe Avenue, if he eventually gets there, like you are hoping, but Edolites will decide who will be the next governor, what's the tendency that we are not going to see the usual, what we see from an average politician that we know? The same language, the same tone, but when they get there, it's something else.
You see, money and power do not change people. It really brings out the real person that is in you. You understand? So if you see anybody who tell you that because I became rich, that's why I changed, it's a lie. Money doesn't change people. Power do not change people. It really brings out the real person that is in you. That is just the truth. For somebody like Dr. Azemhe, God has blessed him. We all know that in the state. God has blessed him. For a man of 44 years to have gotten what he has and stay humble. Do you understand? So what makes you believe that he will get to power and change? He has seen power. He is in power currently. He has not changed. Do you understand? He's not looking for wealth. By the grace of God, God has blessed him. A man of 44 who has amounted all this one, he's not going to change any day, anytime. He is not a regular politician. That is why Azemhe can never change. Do you understand? So some of all these other persons, they will easily change because they have the tendency. So there are tendency for changes.
Give us some of these tendencies.
There are some tendency for changes. First and foremost, if you don't identify with people, just know that when you get to power, you are going to change. I don't know if you're getting this. You are going to change. Because naturally, you don't identify with people. Do you understand, sir? If you don't identify with people naturally...
I will beg to differ or disagree with you. We've seen people come down to the streets, eat with beggars, share the same spoon, eat the same food, the normal, in fact, the food that an average human being will not eat. You see a politician eating it. You see them roasting corn, frying gari up and down, walking barefooted, sitting with beggars, and at the end of the day, just to get the vote and run.
Thank you. You say just to get the vote. It happens during election. Do you understand? You don't judge people by the act they perform.
No, you just said if you don't see people identify with people, don't trust them.
No, when I talk about identification, I'm talking about what you have been doing before now. Okay. Dr. Azemhe, whatever he's doing right now, he's not doing it because of election. This is his lifestyle. For the past 12 years, this has been Dr. Azemhe's lifestyle. Up to date, even with the number of security that he has, you see Dr. Azemhe enter Keke, not because of politics. You know, it's his lifestyle, it's nature for him. Do you understand? And he keep telling you that even as a sitting governor, by the time when as a city governor, he's still going to be in his church ministry every Sunday, ministering to sick people, to the poor and all that.
So he won't leave the pulpit?
No, he won't leave the pulpit. So it's his nature. So you are not going to compare him with some persons who have never voted in this state. You are not going to compare with some persons who have never identified with their people in this state. You can't compare that. So for Dr. Azemhe, it's not going to change. That one is for sure. It's not going to change. He's not a regular politician, sir.
So let's go back now to your manifesto. You say it's an A to Z manifesto.
Exactly.
You've not really explained anything.
All right.
You just said everybody will be carried along. Entertainers, health sector. Break it down.
Yes. Let me start from the issue of education. We have this as a manifesto that once Dr. Azemhe comes to power, comes September 21st, the first thing he's going to do is going to declare free education from primary to secondary, number one. Then number two, for our higher institution, is going to be subsidized, like Ekpoma, for example. You see, there's what they call talk and do. Now, whatever I'm telling you now, the reason why you should be rest assured, yourself and everybody that is watching me should be rest assured, that is just not a normal political language. Is the fact that, one, Dr. Azemhe is currently a student in AAU, which I know so many persons are aware. He's a 500 law student in AAU. He knows the pain the students are passing. So he knows whatever problem that is passing in AAU, people are passing in AAU. So when he says he's going to subsidize AAU and some other state-owned higher institution in the state, so it's not saying something he cannot do. Do you understand? So for area of education, for primary and secondary...
You make primary to secondary school free?
Free education. When I say free...
Some persons are still struggling to give free books.
Yes.
Some are still struggling to even provide good educational materials and environment. You are saying your government, if you get there, you are giving free education. Is that not too much?
Sir, you see...
Is it obtainable and achievable?
Over obtainable, sir. It's over obtainable.
How?
Currently, he has a school, a private school. Yeah? Compare with the standard that is obtainable in that school and what is what the students are paying there. Then, you know, currently, do you know that so many students are on the scholarship? Like, hundreds of students are currently in the scholarship, whether it's secondary, in primary, and even tertiary university, that is currently paying with his own money. So if he can do that from his personal pocket, this is a man that has passion for education. Because he will tell you that he dropped 4 times out of school. Do you understand? He dropped 4 times out of school because no money to pay school fees. So that's why his personal passion is for education.
Okay, that is for education now.
That is for education.
You are promising Edo Lights.
Exactly.
That they are going to have free education from primary to secondary school. And for high institution,
it's going to be subsidized.
Not just Ekboma. You have Hussein.
Exactly. It's going to be subsidized.
Other schools are there. We have School of Health.
It's going to be subsidized. Now, let me tell you, do you know one of the reasons why some of all these schools, the school fees look like private schools? It's because the subvention that goes to this school over time has been reduced. Do you understand? Has been reduced for some, then others has been removed entirely. So the students, like AU, for example, the students are made to pay their school fees. So they are paying like their private university. So what we are saying is that once Dr. Azemhe comes to power, he's going to return back their subvention. And when the subvention is returned back, then you discover that their school fees will naturally drop. It's a natural
So how do you now fight corruption? Because when you return subvention back, somebody will just be somewhere happy because one big cash is entering their accounts.
No.
How do you now put things in place to ensure that you checkmate all these things?
During Adam Soshomole time, they were receiving subvention. So they were not corrupt. Do you understand? They were not corrupt. And
you are speaking for Adam Soshomole government now.
No, I said during
when
Adam
Soshomole,
yes, they were not corrupt. You understand? It was only this current administration that entirely removed the subvention. They need to be given subvention. It's a private, a public university.
So you return subvention. How do you control how the subvention is being used?
That is why you have governing body. Do you understand? You have governing body. So you have people who help to manage in the higher institution. So there's no corruption there. That you are giving what rightfully belongs to school. You are giving to school for them to run their system. There's no corruption.
We've seen people get to power, and at the end of the day, they bring in those who helped them to campaign, bring in people who supported their political ambition, and give them appointments. Is that going to be the lot of Dr. Azemhe?
Yes, it is not a bad idea for those who have worked with to have given them appointment, because first, they are the ones that you know very well. But where the problem actually lies is where you now give people who are not competent positions that you know they cannot fit in.
In some cases, some of these people, they are just the hula baloo shouters.
Yes.
They are not competent enough.
That is why I tell you, like for somebody like Dr. Azemhe, if you have worked closely with Dr. Azemhe, you discover that if you are not competent, you find it difficult to work with him. It deals with people that are competent. Do you understand? One, Dr. Azemhe doesn't give you position because you are close to him. Are you getting it? It doesn't give you because you are close to him. A lot of persons who are in his campaign council are not people that are close to him personally. It doesn't give you position based on you are proving your worth.
Okay, let's see how to manage this remaining time we have. Security, good roads. These are the two issues. How are you going to tackle it?
All right, for area of security, once we come to power, Dr. Azemhe comes to power, Edo State is going to be the safest place in this country. I will tell you 1,001 reasons.
No, let's manage it now. You have 20 seconds. We need to go.
Okay.
Yes.
We all know that currently Dr. Azemhe, before now, has actually been the one that has been managing what they call the crime watch, for somebody who has invested so much in security, now becoming the chief security officer of the state. Of course, you know what he's capable of doing. If not that, you said our time is short. I will have loved to go into so many other areas. So maybe some other time if I come.
Definitely. We would like to have you again, Mr. Agatise Raphael, the Director, Mobilization and Contact. Thank you so much for coming off the NNPP. All right, we'd like to have him again, but however, this is how far we can go. We'd like to see you on the next one. My name is Daniel Praise. Have yourself a blessed weekend ahead. Bye for now.